Good morning. Welcome to News Channel 5 Plus. We do start with breaking news. A manhunt underway after a multi-county crime spree earlier this morning.
Officers have released some surveillance images now of the suspects they're looking for this morning. We're told a woman has been taken into custody. Her name has not been released, but this is some video shot just moments ago of where officers believe the suspects were at one point off of Hickory Chase Drive in the Madison area. And this red truck was towed from the scene. Officers say 3 suspects stole an entire ATM from a Cross Plains convenience store in Robertson County. Then they attempted to take another one from a store in Goodlettsville, but were not successful. They did, however, take a gun from that convenience store. Officers then chased the suspects into the Madison area. And here is another look at one of those suspects. If you recognize them or if you have any information, call police immediately. The suspects are considered armed and dangerous. And more breaking news. Just days after a convenience store was raided and padlocked, a man has been caught trying to break into that place. News Channel 5's Matthew Torres has been at the North Police Precinct all morning on this, and you have the name of the suspect.
Steve, we do. His name is Mishari Alotaibi. He is 25 years old and is still in Metro Jail this morning. Get this, though. Police say Alotaibi is related to the owner of the store that he burglarized last night. Take a look at video from the scene. At this point, we don't know how Alotaibi is related to the owner, but he is responsible for breaking the chains of the padlock at CJ's Discount Market on Buena Vista Pike after it was raided earlier this week. Police say he was inside going through some paperwork when he was taken into custody. Now, catching him wasn't that hard because the person that went with Alotaibi to the store is the same one who called police. Now, investigators raided the CJ Discount Market and padlocked it Monday morning, calling it a public nuisance. Police were given a tip that employees were dealing drugs from the front counter, and during that raid, they found marijuana, a gun, scales, and counterfeit merchandise. Now, several people were inside the store at the time, but it was the owner, Hani Al-Kaifi, and the clerk, Ahmed Al-Kiswani, that were arrested. This morning, Al-Kiswani is still in jail after more outstanding warrants were issued to him. As far as Alotaibi, he was booked in at 1 this morning and is now facing charges of vandalism and burglary. We're reporting live at North Police Precinct. I'm Matthew Torres, News Channel 5 HD. All right, and you probably saw something strange in the video with Matthew.
Matthew himself? Okay. Besides that.
Rays of sunshine.
Oh, okay. Let's check in with Leland.
All right. Good to see some of that sunshine around the area for us this morning. We've had partly to mostly cloudy conditions out there. Here's Sky 5 Live. They're at the airport now. And while they've had some rays of sunshine, we see a little bit more cloud cover on this side of town. But right now we see sunlight hitting the bubble there at St. Thomas Sports Park this morning. Right now at Nashville International, it is 61 degrees. So on radar now, we have a little cloud cover in the area, but no rain. That's good to say. Right now, check out the temps for us this morning. Those numbers are in the upper 50s and lower 60s around the area. As we work our way through the day, we'll look for a high of around 80 and a wind north at about 5 to 10. More weather on the way for you coming up in a moment, but right now at about 7:03, Dave is here with 5 Live traffic.
Leland, we look at Vietnam vets here near Conference Drive up in the Rivergate area. This collision's been on the right shoulder for about a half hour now. Goodlettsville police got out there quickly, got it out of traffic, but that didn't stop a backup from building with all the folks trying to get out of Sumner County right now. You see it slow here. 3.5 miles up the road, we go to the camera just west of New Shackle Island Road. You can see it is a very slow parade there. In fact, as we go to the map, not only is it very slow on Vietnam vets, as you can see here on the north side, backing up from the crash scene across the county line all the way back up into the Hendersonville area, but folks trying to use Gallatin Pike to avoid all that, also seeing very slow traffic now crossing the county line coming in down toward the Rivergate area. Long Hollow Pike may be better for you right now. We unfortunately don't have traffic sensors on Long Hollow Pike, so we can't show you the flow there, but 65 southbound certainly looks good. If you can get over to Long Hollow Pike, I think you might get around this, maybe save yourself a little bit of time this morning. We pull it back and show you the big picture. We do have a couple of crashes working on the south side, one blocking the outbound right lane of 12th Avenue South at Kirkwood there by Sevier Park, and just clearing away this crash blocking the right lane inbound of Lafayette Street right at Wharf Avenue. That's 5 Live traffic for you Wednesday. We're at 7:04 right now as we head to the news with Steve and Amy.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. Happening right now, an early morning gas station robbery, and you're seeing the station right there. This is down in the Priest Lake area. Police are looking for a suspect who may be armed. Not sure about that. The clerk at the MAPCO on Smith Springs Road told police that he was mopping up early morning. He spots a guy with a gun walking in. That's never a good sign. The clerk ran out the door as the robber then grabbed cash and took off running as well. So far, no suspects have been identified.
2 teens are in custody after they were apparently caught trying to break into a loan store. Police say the teens broke the front window at the Cashville on Lafayette Street around 1:15, but officers arrived before they could take anything. They took off, but the canines quickly tracked them down. One of the teens had to be taken to the hospital for a dog bite on his neck. He's expected to be okay, though. Both will face burglary charges.
They followed a man home, they held him at gunpoint, and they made off with his car. And that was only the beginning of the mess. The first victim, Steve Abbott right there, told us the carjackers spotted him at a gas station on Lebanon Pike. They followed him home, they held him at gunpoint inside his own carport.
Then he said, "If you don't do anything wrong, I won't kill you." And I said, "I won't do anything. I'll do whatever you want." Caucasians.
Pretty
whatever.
scary stuff. The carjackers made off with Abbott's money and keys to his silver Toyota Camry. Shortly thereafter, investigators say they tried to carjack a woman at a Papa John's on Lebanon Road. Fortunately, she spotted them in her rearview mirror and she sped away. Minutes later, a couple of other unsuccessful carjackings pretty much in that same area. If you have any information about any of these crimes, call Crime Stoppers at 615-74-CRIME.
Developing news out of Monteagle now, where a homicide investigation is underway. Police say a family member found Kenneth Tate dead inside a home on 3rd Street yesterday. It's unclear how he died or if detectives have any suspects. The TBI is now investigating. And a little bit later today, the 3 men charged with kidnapping and murdering Holly Bobo are expected to appear in court. And Cuthbert Langley has been following this. He joined us this morning. And this is the first time they're going to face this judge since prosecutors filed these new charges.
Yes, Amy, that's exactly right. All 3 men will be arraigned in Decatur County on those new charges brought against them. Keep in mind, this is not the start to the official trial. In fact, we don't even know when the trial will begin. This is expected to be a hearing, so those men can be officially charged. We could hear from TBI Director Mark Gwynn, who was subpoenaed to answer questions about what's become a controversial investigation. Jason Autry, Zach Adams, and Dylan Adams, along with their attorneys, will be in the courtroom this morning at 9 o'clock following an indictment handed down 2 weeks ago. All 3 men will be charged with rape, kidnapping, and premeditated murder. The 20-year-old student was reported missing from her home in Parsons in April 2011. Bobo's partial remains were discovered in September 2014 in a wooded area of Decatur County by hunters. So Jason Autry and Zach Adams were already facing kidnapping and murder charges. Dylan Adams was indicted on kidnapping and those premeditated murder charges 2 weeks ago. He had been previously arrested and charged with rape. Now, no details were released on what led to those new indictments, so we could learn that today. Of course, we'll have complete coverage of their court hearing throughout the day today. Be sure to check back here both on air and online at newschannel5.com. Steve?
All right, Cuthbert, thank you. Several hot button issues to talk about from Metro Council last night. Public comment on the operating and capital budgets lasted nearly 4 hours. That's a lot longer than usual because they were talking about some hot button issues like moving the jail down to South Nashville.
They're not talking about moving to Green Hills. They're not talking about moving to 12 South. They're not talking about 5 Points or West End. No, they want to move the county jail to the same neighborhood where the police have routinely racially profiled my neighbors.
This improvement will actually be a shot in the arm, per se, to that area, as more attention will be drawn to that location.
Other projects discussed last evening include moving the Metro Police headquarters to North Nashville along Jefferson, and also the flood wall, which some say only protects downtown businesses and not the city as a whole. Council members have the opportunity to make changes to the operating and capital budgets before the next meeting coming up on June the 9th.